back to the channel. I'm Leslie. I'm a jewelry creator and designer, and today we are unboxing the Bargain Bead Box that arrived in my mailbox yesterday. So, super excited. Let's take a look. And this is quite appropriate because the theme of this box is Here Comes the Sun, and as you can see, the sun is coming right across my windows as we speak. So it says, spring is dawning and this month's palette captures the oranges, pinks, and yellows of the morning light. Pink Adventurine is the star with a beautiful shaded bead strand, faceted focal link, and rondelle beads. Accents include red agate, yellow opal, and quartz, with cubic zirconia studded sun motifs, sparkling crystals, and gold finished findings. So that is the theme for this month's Bargain Bead Box. Each kit that you get also comes with a 30% discount to their sister store, Beadbox Bargains. And you do get a little code on here, which is why I'm not showing it. But if you do subscribe to the box, which is about $25, you'd have to check the price right now, you get just a whole lot of goodies. So here you can see this month's box contains 21 items with an estimated retail value of $99.79. Many of these look like they're 18 karat gold plated. That's the metal that we're using this month. Lead free, nickel free, cadmium free, stainless steel items are hypoallergenic. You get crystals, check glass, gemstone beads. It's a wonderful lot of things, and we're going to take a look at all of them, so stay tuned. So coming out of the package, this is what your goodies look like. So everything comes in a very pretty organza bag, and I will disclose that I cheated and opened this yesterday. When it arrived, I was on my way to an event that I was selling some goods at, and took the package with me to open it in the car once I got there. And I did take a little sneak peek, so it's very nice, and I'm very excited to show you all the goods. All right, stay tuned, because first I have to get some coffee. I am back. I have my coffee in a happy little mug, and we're ready to go. So let's move this out of the way, and let's get started with March's Bargain Bead Box. Okay, first up we have, let's take a look at this. Okay, that bail is kind of hooked here. There we go. Okay. We have, I have to figure out where the camera is here. Here we go. 37 by 35 millimeter, 18 karat gold plated brass and cubic zirconia sun pendant. Lead free, cadmium free. That is very sparkly and very gold. Very pretty. Just a little sun pendant to get us started. All right, number 2, we have 18 karat gold plated brass and cubic zirconia sun pendants. So we have some little guys. Okay, those are cute. They actually have a little center, little bumped out center on them. Very pretty. Those, of course, would make adorable earrings. Number 3 is a 15-inch strand of 8 millimeter shaded pink Adventurine round beads. I need to remember to stop pulling things out while I'm talking. These I actually saw on the preview video that they do for these bundles, and these are really pretty. So this is a variegated by shades of pink Adventurine, which does look a little orange, but that's the way red Adventurine looks. Looks a little orange, but those are really pretty. These are 8 millimeter, a little big for what I usually use. I'm more of a 6 millimeter girl or lower. I like the smaller beads, but those are very pretty and we will most definitely use them. Next up, we have a 7-inch strand of 8x5mm pink aventurine rondelle beads. Okay, look at those. These are just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I hope that comes through. I'm trying to find the light on my screen here. Look at those. Oh yeah, these are, I don't know if you can see this one on the end here. So lots of variation in those. So we're gonna put them right up there. Okay. We have a 7-inch strand of 8mm red agate. And these are dyed and heated faceted round beads. So little agate beads. And when they're heated, the color intensifies. So that's why we have some very, very bright orangey color there. We have a 7-inch strand of yellow opal tumbled nugget beads. These are interesting. Look at those. Almost look like amber, some of them. Yellow opal. Okay, 6 14x6mm red aventurine bicone beads. These are big boys. Let's see here. These are almost like cylinders, like pointy cylinders. So interesting color on those. And then we have a 7.5-inch strand of 8mm mixed quartz round beads. Take a look at those. So these are quartz. Gorgeous. So some peach, some kind of purpley brown looking colors. Number 9, we have 38x22mm pink aventurine and brass faceted Baroque oval link. Alrighty, look at that. That could have been your pendant, your focal pendant. That's very pretty. Pink aventurine. Very nice. Mine's very light colored, so it doesn't really look super pink. Looks more whitish. All right, 2 pieces, 16x10mm faceted glass and round brass round links. Oh, these are very pretty. So these are like little, just little links, they're little faceted glass, and they're sort of a pinkish color. Those are really pretty. I'll put those up here, I think. Yeah, look at that. Okay, number 11, 2 pieces, 16x14mm, 18 karat gold plated stainless steel sun charms. These are 2 of those little laser cut, looks like, little charms. Little pattern on the front. Here's the back. Can't tell if it's better in the sun or out of the sun. Put these guys down here. I'll put one each way because I like them. I like both sides. Number 12, 10 pieces, 16x12mm glass faceted polygon beads in champagne. These are awesome. If you can hear that sound, love that sound. That is the sound of glass beads. So these are really pretty. They're like nugget chunks. And those are going to be fun to do things with. Throw this back over here. Actually, let's put the rest here. And number 13, we have 7-inch strand of 5.5mm crystal faceted English cut crackled round beads. Is that what this is? English cut crackled round beads. Okay, well, they don't look round, but those are very pretty. These are just like the perfect color combos to go together. Man, if that doesn't look like the sun, I don't know what does. All right, number 14, a 10-inch strand of 6mm crystal faceted cube beads in Magma AB. And AB, for those that don't know, stands for Aurora Borealis, which is a coating that they put on the beads that gives a kind of a, you see a little purple, blue, basically the colors from the Aurora Borealis you see on the finish of the beads. So they kind of do that little color shift when you see an AB bead. And I can see prismatic light flashing off of these all over my room as I'm doing this. So these are gorgeous. Love, love. Very nice. Okay, number 15, we have 11-inch strand, 4mm crystal bicone beads in white champagne. That is those. Also gorgeous. We had something similar last month, but they were green with kind of that goldish edge on them. These are beautiful. Let's put those over there. Okay, 16, 4 pieces, 27 by 18mm sunburst chandelier links in gold. Let's see what those look like. Okay, not really wild about these, but that's just me. These will probably go in the donate bin. So chandelier links, I don't really use them all that often. So we'll set those down here. And number 17, we have 20 pieces, 9.5 by 3.5mm sun cylinder beads. Let's see what these are. These are little guys. So little cylinders, like little spacer beads. They do have a little pattern on them. And I don't have anything like this, so that's very unusual. Let's see here. Let's put this down here. And then we have 100 pieces of 3.2mm round spacer beads in gold. And we are not going to dump these all out. I'm going to put a couple in my hand. So, I need a big old bag of spacer beads. Okay, I'll put these few over here because they're going to roll all over. Okay, number 19, we have 1 meter of 18 karat gold plated stainless steel curved jewelry chain. You always do get some findings in with your bargain bead box, so we have some chain to go along with everything. Very nice, 18 karat gold plate. Number 20, we have 2 pieces, 6 by 3mm, 18 karat gold plated brass rondelle tube bales. These are tiny, tiny. Oh, I think I have some chain bits in my hand there. So tiny, tiny little bales. So those have a circle and then another little circle that I don't even know if you can see because they are so tiny. Okay, I'm gonna put those right there. And then we have finally the last one, 2 pieces, 12 by 7 millimeter brass magnetic clasps in gold. So 2 little magnetic clasps. I'm gonna show you one. That is really strong because I can't even get that apart. There we go. Yeah, 2 little magnets. Super strong. Very nice. Put that up there. The other one up here. And that completes the March Here Comes the Sun collection from Bargain Bead Box. I'm already kind of excited to make some things, so we're probably going to do that next. Stay tuned. Alright, so I put some things away, I got some things out, I put some pairs together, and here's what we have. So we have those aventurine rondelles, we have mixed quartz, we have the opal tumbled nugget beads, the faceted red agate beads, the little spacers, of course, and then an array of things that I laid out. And I kept these 2 pendants out just kind of for reference. I'm not going to use them because right now we're just going to make earrings. This tends to be where I sit and make earrings. Bracelets and necklaces I tend to sit on the couch and make, so we're doing earrings. And this is what I have pulled out so far. So I was going through, of course, gemstone beads are not identical, and if you're get a pair, you're lucky. And I went through to see what I could find that matches the most for earrings, because obviously you want your earrings to match for the most part. So I ended up with these 2 bicones, and this just kills me that these are called bicones because they're just so long and goofy looking, but they are bicones. So I have 2 of those pairs. And then I kind of went through, like on these mixed quartz, I pulled out these white quartz, kind of clear and white, and then I pulled out these really dark pair that looks really nice. And on the rondelles, I got this nice peachy color. And then these 2, which are like just solid white. Those are just gorgeous. And then on these faceted agate, and it's funny because I didn't even notice that they were faceted at first. I know I read that, but they're so slightly faceted, they're just kind of lumpy looking, which is kind of cool. They're very different. They're not super finely faceted, or maybe they are super finely faceted, and that's why they look lumpy. But anyway, I digress. So I have 2 of these darker orange ones that I pulled, and then these 2, which are quite stripy. So they're a lot of clear and some orange color in there. But I thought that was a neat combo. And I pulled out, of course, some of these little bicones, these English cut, faceted. We have some of these tubes, a couple of these big nuggets that I like. And then I started putting things together as far as I liked this look on these. And then these are that variegated string of the aventurine. So everything that was on a string. So I pulled out the major color differences or shades, and that's what I ended up with. So those are cool looking. I don't know what we're going to do with those yet, but I just wanted to show that I pulled out a pair of each of the colors of that rainbowy strand. Okay, so we got those 2 guys. Got these 2 guys, which are kind of the wild card because they are much more pink than anything else in this set. But they're kind of close to that, and of course they look gorgeous with the white, so we're going to see what we're going to do there. And then these yellow opals I was kind of perplexed by because they don't really seem to fit with anything else, but I was able to pull out a few pairs that look sort of similar. So similar shape, similar kind of coloration. So those two could be earrings. And then I started putting this together, which I thought could be a variegated length, like that you would put on a ring and use as a drop. Although I don't really like the yellow with that. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I think I'm still going to put it together and then see where it goes. And maybe that's going to go on something else. So that's my thoughts so far. And let's get some tools. So we got our round nose. Of course, I don't know where the camera is anymore. Got these guys. And we need the cutters, of course. I'm using Xeron cutters. And probably need that guy too. So we'll have those available. And I'm going to start with this one because I just liked how that turned out right off the bat. I love the chunky nugget bead with that very square bead. So we're going to just make a wrap loop on this one. Over, switch hands. This is a bit of a strong pin, so we're gonna wrap it as much as we can here. We might need to bend him a little bit. There we go. Love it. Right. Alright, I'm not sure when this video is going to come out, but it is starting to get nice in Chicagoland. And the pelicans have returned to the chain of lakes. So I live in an area, I live on Fox Lake, in the town of Fox Lake. We do have, I think it's 45 feet of frontage on the lake. We have a little boathouse. We live up on a hill, so we have, I forget, I've counted, but it's a lot. It's probably like 2 or 3 stories of steps that goes down to the lake. So we're high up on a hill. Don't need flood insurance, but we do have a gorgeous view out the back of the house of the lake, and we do get bald eagles that sit in a big tree that we have in the backyard. They fish right off of our backyard, so that's really cool, and we get eagles come. And right now pelicans are on their way up to Minnesota for the summer, apparently. There's Pelican Lake up there. And they pass through and they stop in the chain of lakes here because it is such a unique area. And it's really neat to see them. So, yeah. So they're back. I've seen a couple on Fox Lake. I've seen them. So the chain of lakes is basically, I forget how many, but like 13 lakes that are all interconnected. And there's a river that runs through the lakes, the Fox River. And where I live is a peninsula between two lakes, and then the river runs through one of those lakes. So there's a lot of boat action in the summer, a lot of just, it's a great place to live. And the wildlife here is just phenomenal. We have foxes, coyotes, whistle pigs, which is basically a groundhog. We have one that lives in the backyard and eats our weeds. So we love him. I know most people don't, but we love him. And gosh, yeah, you get herons and egrets and the bald eagles and just everything. And it's phenomenal. It's a great place for photos, which is, I'm a photographer, so I do that quite a bit. And it's just beautiful to look out. But anyway, it's starting to get nice. The snow, I'm hoping, might be gone. I guess we'll find out. Excuse me. But it's been in the 60s the last couple of days. It was back down in the 40s, I think, last night when I was out at the fundraiser. But yeah, so it's getting there. I'm looking forward. I'm going to be setting up a saw and doing some rock cutting this summer for sure. I'm going to try and get that all set up. Oh, excuse me. Obviously, I need more coffee. So I did another tiny little wrap a loop. You can see we got some extra wire there. Let's see if I can do this without an extra pair of glasses. And I dump all my little scrap pieces into an Erlenmeyer flask, which I have sitting on my desk because science was my first love. Well, music was my first love, and then science. And then I made my way over to art and found that. Yeah, there we go. Let's do this other little guy on the end. Like how I just did that. We're going to do that again. Luckily, these are really thin wires. We do have a boat, which will be coming out probably pretty soon. So I will take you on some boating adventures as well, because everything is inspiration, right? So we really have not been out on the boat since COVID. They were in storage for a number of years after that. And then last year, gosh, was it last year or 2 years ago, we had a tree fall on the pier. Luckily, it did not hit the boat lift that we had out there. And that was before we had the boat out, so it didn't hit anything, but it did hit the pier. So we had to build a new pier, which we did last year. So this year would be the year to get the boats out and start going back out. So we have one dog, Whiskey, who is 9, who has thoroughly enjoyed his time on the boat. And then we have little Rye, who's 3 years old, who we got after COVID and has never been on the boat. So it will be fascinating to see if we can get them both back out on the boat. Well, Whiskey back out, because last time we tried he was not all that interested. But it's been a while for him, so. But he used to love, when he was a puppy, going out on the boat, seeing all the birds, and all the people. Let's see if I can get that last little wrap around. I don't know if I am. Cut a tiny little bit there. Alright, let's see here. So I made use of one of these little tubes, just for length on this one. I think that turned out pretty nice. So my initial thought was to have them like, and this one I don't think is going to be a wrapped loop. I think this one's just going to be a straight up. So we're going to cut this right at the end of my fingernail. Is the proper length. So I was thinking of these pieces to use like as a fringe hanging off of a pendant. I might still do that, but we're gonna see. Okay, so I think those look pretty neat actually. This guy over here. So you see how those would all kind of hang. Yeah, those are kind of cool. All right, I don't know what we're going to do with that yet, but we're going to do something. And then, let's see, this guy, I was thinking, could be a link with something else pretty hanging underneath. So I think we're going to do that. So we're just going to make another loop on the end of this one. Hoping I'm still on camera here. I'm going to cut that a little bit. So get another one of these guys. One of those spacer beads. The funny bicone. Another spacer. Those two. Could do some little drops off of these. We could use like that. Sure, that's not showing well, but could do that. Maybe do a little fringe off of these. That would be kind of cute. What do you think of those colors? Not sure about that. Alright, I'll be back in a little bit. Alrighty, the sun has moved on. The puppies have gone to the park. And let's get back to making some earrings. Although I think I may turn on a light, so let's see how that goes. It's a little brighter. Okay, so we made these two with the nuggets. We're looking at these. Looking at those, which I had an idea for, I think. I have these little guys that I think would be nice with maybe those. And I also saw a few things in one of the last bead boxes that I thought would be very nice too. We have some pearls, which I think could be nice with this group. And what else was in here that I saw? It was actually kind of a similar little peachy palette. Those. Got some little crystals here. More crystals. You could put some of these colors in your mix. Some moonstone nuggets, which also fit in nicely with this color palette. So, yeah, sometimes you need to pull things from your stash as well, just to add in a little other interest, although liking that. Look at some of these other little crystals, since we have them. Alright, these, there's definitely some more pink colors in there. Those look doable. So these are the same 6mm English cut faceted rounds. This is in champagne luster, so these are the same as those, but a clear color. So I think I like that better here. Again, this is all just trial and error and seeing what you like and what you don't like. Contrast is always good, texture is always good. Color contrast, that is. Like that. Let's see here. And for whatever reason, I always like starting earrings with a little spacer like that. I don't know why, it's just something I do that just seems to finish better, or to look more finished, I guess. Okay, there's one other thing I'm going to grab. Oopsies, come back here. Okay, hold on one sec. These are O beads from Potomac Beads. And this is in the Aztec gold color. I like these just because they're very tiny little flat glass beads, but they make a nice little separation between beads when you don't really want to use a bead cap, because I don't use a lot of bead caps sometimes, but sometimes you just need a little color separation in between, like that. So see how that gives that just a little dressier, I think. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'll put another gold on top. let's see here. I'm going to just make that a simple loop. All right, like that. Let's put that over here. Those are nice. It's quite windy here today. Not sure if the wind is picking up on the microphone at all. It's a gorgeous sunny day. Oops, I forgot that little O bead. Another one of those. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have here? I really like those rondelles. Just a little crystal on top. Let's see how that looks. That needs something in between. Let's go to our O bead. Like that. That's a cute little earring. I really do like those aventurines. You can see a little veining in there. Super cute. Okay. 3. Let's see what else we can do. Okay, I do like all of these. But don't know what we're going to do with them. We need something with these. So maybe these with those. Or with that. What do you think? I'm thinking maybe with these. Maybe we'll just make this as simple as just a bead and a bead. I don't know, or should that go with the white? Choices. Like that. Don't like that. Okay, so that's a simple mixed quartz. So this is a kind of a white quartz. We're going to put a little bit of a pink crystal on there from that other bead pack. I think we're going to go with that. I like that. And I think we're going to just do a simple loop on this. Okay. I think we're going to hang just a very small something on the end of that because that's getting pretty long. But I like it. So let's do this one again. Spacer. White quartz. O bead. Pink crystal. Spacer. Put that down. Cut that. Sorry you can't see my face when I'm cutting that because I was making a face. Those two. And then I'm thinking just a simple Maybe just one of these. Down there at the bottom. This is the tricky part of doing a wrap loop. You have to, there we go, I have it attached to something else. Now you have to hold all of this. While you're doing the wrappy part. Snip off this little bit. Okay, there's that one. I like it. Are they still showing up? No, they're not showing up. All right, what do we do here? We did this little guy. We did an O bead. And a spacer on top. Gotta remember to stay in camera. Okay, we're gonna feed that through into the loop. And we're going to hold on to everything. We're going to switch hands and wrap. And there we have it. Okay. I like those. What can we do with these? Okay. First we're going to do, let's take off this ring. Since we're not using this as a pendant, we're going to earring these. Okay. What do we think about these? I don't want something too long because these are already pretty long. I want something contrasty. Maybe those agates. Or we have these darker quartz. I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, those are kind of interesting. That's a lot of gold. What do we think? I'm thinking we go for it. Okay. And since I'm trying to save some length, we're not going to put a spacer on the bottom. Okay, I think we're just going to go with that. All right, what do we think of that? I think I like the contrast with the dark quartz on there. Kind of gives you a night and day feel a little bit. Okay. Move these guys over. Let's do another one. Okay, so crystal, O bead, quartz. A simple loop. And I know what you're wondering. How do I decide whether I'm doing a simple loop or a wrap loop? Well, first off, I'm not the best at doing wrap loops, but it really kind of depends on the weight of the wire that I'm using here. And these are pretty strong, so it's much harder to do a wrap loop with, whereas this one's very thin, much easier to do a wrap loop. So that's kind of my criteria. I'm sticking to it. All right, there's the second one of those. Super cute. I like them. What else? I need to do something with these guys. And I think I was looking at just doing a couple of little wrap loops on there. That one, I think that's too long. Kind of like that. Alright friends, I was happily chatting away yesterday, talking about trains and traveling downtown to Chicago for work and all sorts of things, and making a bunch of earrings. And I looked up at one point at my camera, which is my iPhone, and it says, "You ran out of storage space." So at some point, while I was happily chatting away with you all, my camera stopped. So I'm not entirely sure what all you saw. I think I was starting on this pair right here, which I did finish. And I may have made something after that. Not entirely sure. I don't know. That might have been the last ones I made, though. So let me hold those up to you. I've also noticed that I don't know if this is focusing or not, or how close I can get. So we're going to experiment a little bit and see. Is that focusing? Can you see those? So yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs of earrings. And also, I started working on this little piece for those long dangly things I was making. So I think I'm going to wire these in like that. Maybe put these little guys down here on the bottom. But I'm going to wire them. So I think that's what that's going to be. Something like that. That's pretty neat. It's a pretty neat little frame, I think, even just on its own. It's pretty cool looking. So this is one of those yellow opals. And other... Gosh darn it, I got cut off again! So I went in and deleted some things, and hopefully there's a little bit more room. And I'm going to have to do some major shifting of files and things. But anyway, that's where we are with this box. I'm going to do some up-close videos of some of these earrings. They turned out really nice. We're going to put the ear wires on them, and then you'll see the final products. And it is a gorgeous day in Chicagoland right now. It's 70 degrees. I should really be outside. Yeah, that's what's going on. We're going to have storms tomorrow, which by the time you see this will probably be last week. But anyway, it's almost springtime in Chicago. I'm very excited about that. And we'll catch you next time. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. And we will see you again. Thanks so much for watching.